What's up, you amazing animalistic assholes? It's... I'm not going to start with that.
I was going to say, I was like, wow.
Yeah. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the No Gen podcast. As always, I am Jonah.
And I'm Mason, sorry.
There was a bit of lag on that, but it's totally fine. And
today, still waking up.
Today we are talking about Japan, the country.
Yes.
As opposed to Japan...
Anything else.
Like,
no, I can't. There's not even a bad joke I can make. I was like thinking about pots and pans, and there's nothing. There's no other Japans I can think of.
I mean, unless you're like Bohemian, like oh yeah man, get Japan.
That's what I was thinking, but there's no way I could nail that in my current mental state.
Yeah, no, I
barely introduced myself, nonetheless make a Jamaican joke.
that could have easily ended up like that Vine where the girl's like, how do you?
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean?
I know exactly what you're talking about. Trying to do a Jamaican accent. That's no idea.
She's just like blah.
That video is so unreal.
That video is so good. It's like Unreal 5.
So, just to clarify, so Jonah and I, if you didn't watch the first episode, we actually, in 2017, we both went to Japan for about 10 days. And that's kind of, I think, the main thing we'll be talking about today. Yeah,
so what I kind of wanted to do is I wanted to give some advice for people who are looking at traveling to Japan. Just kind of what we did right and wrong. What are you doing?
This coffee is so good, dude.
It looked like you were falling asleep, and I'm like...
My nose hit the mic. I'm so good.
I saw that happening, and I'm like, what's going on here? What are we doing?
It's so good.
I'm trying to talk about traveling to Japan, and you're just over there sipping your coffee.
I could go back to bed. Like, it's that warm and nice. Anyway, sorry, go back to your Japan stuff.
Yeah, what I'm saying is that talk about some tips, some do's and don'ts about traveling Japan, talk about what we did, and then intercut with that some funny stories from, or not even funny stories, just interesting stories from our trip to Japan. So, like you said, we went to Japan in 2017. We were 18 years old. We were fetuses at that point.
Yeah.
I had just...
Wait, yeah, I was going to say, you just turned...
I had just turned 18. And you had been 8... You were almost 19.
2017.
Yeah. 2017.
I would have been almost 19.
You were almost 19, and I had just
That's
turned
crazy
18.
to think. I, legit, I'm surprised our parents let us do that. It's the idea of going to another country at 18 is so young.
I'm really surprised that our parents let us go, too, to be honest.
To be fair, one is Japan... 2 were both guys. If we were both girls, there would be not a chance.
Not a chance in hell that would have ever happened.
Yeah. Which, I mean, it's such a good circumstances, though. We couldn't have gone at a better time.
Oh, no. It ended up working really well. It worked out super well for us. But yeah, I was really surprised. I didn't even know how to book a hotel at that point, so I can't believe our parents let us. Was like, yeah, you could go to a country on the other side of the world by yourselves for 10 days. Well, it'll be fine. Nothing bad will happen.
Yeah, I'm still kind of confused on how we actually booked the hotel because legit in America, I've booked hotels. There was one in particular I booked, and I wasn't 21 at the time, so I couldn't check in. You have to be 21 to check into a hotel. But I could make a reservation, and I got screwed out of that.
That's really... I think it's different in Japan.
No, that's what's crazy. You get a hotel overseas, but then, over here, it's that's crazy.
I think it's something to do with insurance and stuff.
I understand it, but it's just that was crazy to me. When I went into that, I was like, what the heck?
Yeah. No, it was definitely...
But no,
it's super weird how it worked out.
But it was great though.
Dude, it was so much fun.
Every little problem, any hiccup, it just kind of melted, kind of
I have no negative memories from that trip.
I have negative moments mentally, but other than that, it's they're very brief. They're not big things. And then part of it too is I don't know. I'm trailing off. But it's such a good trip though.
It was great. I had a great time. It was a lot of fun. But first thing I want to talk about is kind of how how this whole thing came about, how we ended up going to Japan, because I think that's something that people are going to want to know, because going to Japan when you've just turned 18 is like a super weird circumstance.
Yeah, especially if your parents aren't like millionaires who like fly across the country all the time. Like, you know, it's not like, you know, for one, like, I mean, I think Jonah, he's done more traveling than I have. Like, literally, besides Japan, I'd only gone to Mexico, and I was like 2 or 3. You know? So it's like that doesn't even really count.
No, it doesn't count. I wouldn't count that.
Damn, gatekeeping traveling over here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I'll let you kind of lead. I didn't know what you mean by. Are you talking about like logistics in terms of like the tickets and?
We'll get to that. What I'm talking about at this current moment is just like how it even came up, us going to
Oh,
Japan.
yeah.
So basically what I remember happening, it was like October of 2016. And I remember we were talking. I don't remember where we were or what we were doing, but we were having a conversation and we were talking about how much we would love to go to Japan.
Mm-hmm.
We were saying like, oh, wouldn't it be so cool if we went to Japan? So then I was like, why don't we just go? And it was a spur of the moment thing. I wasn't being totally serious, but when I said why don't we just go, I looked into how much it would be to go, and then realized that I could actually afford it. And once that happened, I'm like, oh wait, we could actually go to Japan if we wanted to. In a few months. So then we just
it was crazy.
We booked flights and we went off.
Like when Jonah brought it up, like, well, okay, like I feel like if like you're into video games and like anime and stuff, like Japan's always on your radar, and especially, and it's just such an interesting country.
Oh, for sure.
So,
even
like,
if you don't like,
there was no
anything.
doubt in my mind that I was going to go there sometime in my life, and Jonah like basically been like, yeah, let's go to Japan, like, you know, next year. I was like, oh, like it almost like forced my hand, but I was like, you know, that's a perfect opportunity. Like you had already said you were going to go. I'm like, well, now I gotta go. I can't just sit here, and if you're going to go and I stay there, I would have been so pissed. Literally. But no, it was actually a perfect time to go, and it actually worked out. We saved a lot of money, actually.
We did, and we'll get more into how we saved that money, because some of it was smart planning, and other parts were just honestly luck.
Yeah,
where we just kind of lucked out with certain things that allowed us to save money.
Yeah.
Even with saving money, though, if you look at everything in total, hotel, food, flight, everything. And
spend $1,000 on a weeb crap.
Dude, I spent so much money on weeb shit. But I ended up spending about $3,500 for the whole trip.
That's probably what I spent. I know I probably priced it all out. I could find some doc, but I know that's probably where I sat. Because I know towards the end, I brought even extra money. I was like, I'm not going to starve to death in Japan.
Yeah, I remember like halfway through the trip, I went to an ATM and took out like 40,000 yen, which is $400 for those of you who don't know the exchange rates. But yeah, I took out another like $400, and
dude, I still got like $30 just in coins.
Dude, I have a whole bag of coins that for some reason I still have with me at my college store.
They don't let you you can't exchange the coins for dollars. They wouldn't let us.
Yeah.
That's what. Anyway, that's very end trip talk, but yeah, no, it was really great. Do you want to? Are you going to talk about the flight at all? Or I thought the food was good. I was surprised. People like diss airline food. I thought it was good.
Oh yeah, the food on our flight was.
It was a lot of food too. Like I felt like they were up and down, like literally, like it had to have been like every hour on the hour. It felt like literally you were having something coming your way.
I mean, it was like what, a 20-hour flight?
No, it was a 14-hour flight and a 12-hour back.
It was longer than that. It was a long flight.
Oh snap! Maybe you were right. I've been telling people 14-hour flight.
It was like a 20-hour long flight.
It says 17 and nearly 18 hours. That's crazy. Yeah. Was it really that long?
Yeah, it was a long ass flight. I slept for most of it. But okay, so now that we're getting into flights, I might as well bring this up. One thing I wanted to say about the flight that was really big brain of us was we ended up, instead of sitting next to each other, we ended up getting 2 aisle seats that were across the aisle from each other.
That was the best.
We we were both next to each other, but we also both had aisle seats.
Yeah, you get plenty of leg. Well, actually, but I'm small. I don't need.
That was so
good.
big brain though.
It was so great.
So big
and
brain.
then plus you don't have to climb over people, and it sucks you don't get to see out the windows. But like, honestly, like. It wasn't the comfort for 18 hours was way worth the windows.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. It was.
Although I would say it is weird to watch movies on the screen when you're on aisle seat, because then like legit another section of the entire plane can see what you're watching.
Yeah. That means you should just watch something really spicy.
Yeah.
Just watch Bible Black.
Yeah, right. Yeah, that's exactly the type of stuff they'd have on a airplane television.
No, you would put it on your phone. You would watch
of that,
you would watch it on your phone. Just watch Bible Black.
I watched Akira and I watched there was another movie I watched on my phone. I know I watched Akira 100%. Oh, I think it was some episodes of Hunter x Hunter. I know that.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter that much. But I don't think I went to sleep on the flight. I know you did.
I definitely went to sleep. Did. I watched a few things too. I remember I watched Moonlight.
Yeah.
But I don't know what else I watched. Moonlight was the only one I remember watching. I think I watched some shitty B movie.
I remember I watched like an hour of The Godfather. I remember that.
Dude, The Godfather is not a movie you watch on a plane.
No, dude, it was for one, I was like, okay, it's a 3-hour movie. I could just, and it's like everybody says it's so good. I was like, I'll just watch it, and then legit did not get invested at all, and it was like, okay. And then I think that was like it. Maybe I clicked on another movie real briefly. Like Transformers or something stupid. Like legit. Like Akira's the one I remember the most. Watching.
Yeah, you could tell which movie was good based on what we remember watching. I remember watching Moonlight, and that was it, because that was a good movie. Mm-hmm. But so more on the topic of the flight. Flights are expensive. Mm-hmm. That is a fact. But we ended up lucking out with our flight because my dad, for his job, travels a lot, so he has a lot of miles on United. So we actually ended up getting my ticket for free. Yeah. And we just split the cost of Mason's ticket,
which was just such a nice gift.
So good.
And then we got miles off of that. Yeah, because I had a bunch of miles now. Where I need to look up to see what United can give me, because I could just get a free trip to like LA or something.
Yeah, No, we lucked out. We ended up saving $1,000 on the flight from that.
Straight from there, and that's a huge chunk considering we both spent around $3,000 to begin with.
Yeah,
we'd be looking at $4,000.
Yeah, $4,500. Mm-hmm. Obviously, you can find cheaper flights. You can find flights for like $1,500, but it's with like Air Canada.
Air Canada, yeah. No, actually, I knew a guy. He would fly. I assume he went from Narita, but he'd fly from Japan to Vancouver and to the United States just to he basically would bring like tobacco and like alcohol back just from Japan, because his family lived in Japan. So he's cool though, cool dude. Yeah, no, there are ways to save money, but we saved a ton there. That's kind of and that's a very circumstantial thing.
Yeah,
like if you're just like, okay, I'm 18, I want to go to Japan. Like if that's not gonna happen. Like it's such a luck thing,
Mm-hmm. It just so happened that my dad had enough miles to get my flight for free.
Yeah, that was like a big help.
That was a huge chunk just taken.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, it was about, if you're gonna fly United, I think it was like really close to $2,000 per ticket.
Yeah,
and that's two-way.
A little segue.
Yeah. I need these segues. My mind's like coffee.
I mean, we'll talk about the coffee in Japan in a bit.
I forgot about that.
But I want to talk about, since we're kind of going through now, where we stayed, the hotel.
The Ochanomizu B.
Yeah.
Or B, the
Ochanomizu.
Yeah.
Great
hotel.
Great hotel.
Yeah.
Super nice.
Yeah.
Super
very
friendly.
nice. Spoke English. Yeah, no, we actually ended up getting a smoking room, which was more than fine. That makes it sound like I smoke.
Yeah, that makes it sound like we're the chain smokers.
But I'm used to being around smoke.
Yeah,
anyway.
Same. A lot of people in my family smoke, so like.
Yeah, no, it was literally no big deal.
And for the 10 days we ended up spending, it was like $40 a night.
Oh yeah, it wasn't bad.
It wasn't bad.
What it was basically $1,000 for 10 days, and then we split that. I'm pretty sure it was close to that.
Yeah. So it was like $80 a night for the room, which is a bit pricey.
A little bit, but then you're pretty close to everything.
But yeah, so here's the reason it was pricey, and it ended up, since we shared a room, it ended up not being pricey. Like $40 a night is super great, but it was literally like right in Akihabara.
Yeah, it was
like it was about a 5-minute walk to like the main strip of Akihabara.
If there was like a top 10 list of the closest hotels to Akihabara, it had to be in like the top 5.
Yeah.
I can't imagine them being closer unless it was like the other side.
Yeah.
Because like once you get to like Yodobashi and stuff, that's all like businesses and offices and stuff. So I mean, honestly, it was perfect. Yeah. Like
it was right next to the subway station too.
Yeah, it was right next to the station, which was good.
Yeah. So that's why it was $80 a night. And we actually had a great view, too, because our hotel room had a window in it. And I'll probably be putting up a picture.
Yeah, I have some photos, too.
But it was a window that looked directly at the concrete wall of the building next to us.
I'm literally looking at the photo now.
Yeah, same. It was
so good.
It was crazy. But it was so funny. I remember I got there. I'm like, wow, look at this view. This was worth every penny. And yeah, but it was a nice room. I mean, it was.
Oh yeah.
It was kind of small, but we both had a bed. It had a cool Japanese toilet.
I was about to say that too.
I
would have been so bummed if they, no pun intended, if they didn't have a nice toilet.
Dude, so funny story with the toilet. This will be the first funny story time. I wanted to see what some of the buttons did, so I pressed the button called spray because I didn't know what it would do. And it didn't do anything, and I was super disappointed. Then I realized there was like a wire connected to the toilet seat. I'm like, oh, it must be a pressure. So I put my foot over the sensor and then hit spray. And I was like, there was nothing happened for a second. Then all of a sudden, from like under the seat, this tube like extended out like, and I'm like, what the fuck? And it sprayed water out into the hallway and all over the wall. Yeah. And I was like, stop. And I had to like hit the emergency stop button. And it was so funny.
Oh, it was so good because I was looking, there's like kind of like a hallway where the bathroom is. And I just literally like look into that hallway and I just see water like airborne hitting the wall where there's wallpaper. It was so...
Dude.
Yeah, after the hotel sees this video, they're not gonna let us back.
No, but
actually, no, we're gonna send all the people your way, so it's fine.
We're giving them free business.
Yeah, no, it was such a good. It was a really good hotel.
It was. They were great.
I feel so bad though, because like when we checked in, like there was a thing where it's like, hey, we do room service like every 2 or 3 days or every day or whatever. Just put the little tag out, and we'll do room service. And legit, like. Being in another country, like, well, no, we don't want people in here. Yeah. So legit, like, I had, like, it was bad. I looked like a hikikomori with all the, like, my trash in bags wrapped up. It's, like, all stacked.
Yeah, we kept our room clean.
No, of course.
But,
it was really clean. But, like,
we didn't want people in there. But then, like...
I think it was, like, day 4. They kind of persisted, like, hey, like, please, let us clean
they
your
put
room.
a notice on our door, like, hey,
clean.
because of hygiene reasons, we need to clean your room.
Yeah.
Or else everyone's gonna die. It's basically what it read like. Like, it was polite in classic Japanese way.
No, it was so good.
But, like, if you read between the lines, it was like, yo, you guys, we don't know what's in that room that you're so scared of.
They probably were worried
but we need to clean it because... we're worried that stuff's going to be leaking into the room below you. Exactly. And it wasn't that bad.
No.
But,
well, yeah, 2 foreigners, like, haven't, like, opened up their door to room service for, like, 4 days. Like, I'd be kind of concerned if
it's mad sus. It's mad sus.
So it's completely understandable. Mm-hmm. So I'm just looking at this photo of me. I'm looking at this desk and where the TV was and the mirror and all that. I just have, like, a lot of cash, like, mad stacks just sitting on there. I'm like...
Dude, speaking of the TV, do you want to talk about... the TV in Japan?
Yeah.
Japanese, not anime, but like Japanese TV. Like you can watch Japanese game shows and stuff on YouTube, but like actually being there and watching what's on TV.
Oh yeah, it was very weird.
It was very weird. I have a video that I'll probably play while we're talking about this.
Yeah,
but
I'm watching
one
my video.
show we found, it was like sentient chairs.
Yeah.
It was like a Yo Gabba Gabba type show.
Yeah.
But with sentient chairs. And it was the weirdest thing.
Yeah, no, it was very weird.
I had ever seen. And I I obviously am not fluent enough in Japanese to be able to understand what the heck.
Dude, I want to go back so bad. Like the amount of Japanese I listen to on a daily basis now, I'm like, I could probably understand so much.
Oh, I speak Japanese way better now than I did when we went.
But back to the TV thing, I remember it was like several days in, we were just had the TV on or whatever. Like, oh yeah, it was like for like quote unquote breakfast, and literally it was this news story, and like obviously we're foreigners trying to piece bits together, but it was like this kid who like basically, and I think it was like, it wasn't a story in Japan.
No,
it was like in America.
No, it was like Europe.
Oh really? It's Europe? Anyway, but it was a guy who basically, I guess he like shot his family or his grandma or something.
He shot his grandma.
Yeah, it was something like that, and we were just kind of like, it was such a weird experience. Like, okay,
just trying to guess what the news story was without. It's almost as if you watched Fox News without any of the like lower thirds and like where it has the like headline below.
Yeah, it was very clutter free, like if I remember right.
But it's like if you watched Fox News without any of that and on mute and we're trying to piece together what's happening in Portland. That's almost what it was like. Like there was no context. We couldn't read any of the stuff. We couldn't understand what they were talking about, but that's what we were able to piece together. And what's funny is, and I'll throw up a picture right here, is the news stations in Japan were so lively and so bright and colorful.
Oh yeah,
and there's like a rainbow in the corner, and
and
it's just like this kid shot his grandma. And there's like rainbows in the side. It's all colorful.
They segued really fast.
It segued like, really
from that. And it's like,
fast.
oh yeah, back to happiness. And it's like, oh okay.
And the weird thing about news in Japan is when they have news stories, they'll have the anchor or like the host or whatever in a little box in the corner reacting to the footage.
Like a Twitch commentator
like
or something.
You're right, like it's a fucking Fine Bros video.
Yeah.
And it's so weird and so funny. Like you'll see this news story and the news footage, but then you'll see like the newscaster in the corner reacting to the footage.
Yeah.
Like, sugoi! Oh, kawaii! And like, it's so funny.
Yeah.
It's so weird and so different, but I mean, I love it.
To quickly add something on about the television thing. I remember I think it was like the second day, like the first morning. Legit, they had like, we're teaching math or something. Like they had like a weird like parabola. They were teaching people about math and stuff.
Yeah, it was legit educational.
It was surprising to me. Yeah. Anyway, carry on with whatever you were about to segue to.
Since we are talking about where we stayed, I wanted to kind of segue into what we visited, like what parts of Tokyo we went to, what parts of Japan we went to. So like I said, our hotel was right in Akihabara, and that is, to be completely honest, that is where we spent most of our time, because Akihabara is weeb central. I almost said weed central, which, no, that's
our room service wanted in so bad.
That's right. That's on Los Angeles. But no, it's weeb central Akihabara. It's like, when people think of Japan, they picture like the anime billboards and the Sega and like the arcades. That's all Akihabara. Yeah. Like that is what people think of when they think of Tokyo. So we stayed there, but we also went to Shinjuku. Yep. For a day.
Yeah, I think Shinjuku was
It was very brief. It wasn't like a ton. We didn't spend a ton of time there. Yeah. I wish if we went back, I would like to spend more time in Shinjuku.
Yeah,
and
Shibuya. In Chiyoda too, the Chiyoda Park.
Yeah,
I would have liked to see really that.
Cool. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff where looking back, it would have been.
But nice, I mean, some of it was so hard to like. Just there's not enough time. There's so much to do.
There's so much to do in Japan. Then we spent a day in Harajuku.
Yes.
And went to Kyogi Park.
Sounds right.
It's the park in Harajuku. It's where Meiji Jingu Temple is.
Yeah.
And so we went to Meiji Jingu, which was cool, but it was very touristy.
Yeah, it
like
was.
For as far as temples go, it was very touristy. Then we spent a day. We took a day trip out to Kyoto, and we took the bullet train out, which was really cool to be able to ride the Shinkansen.
Yeah, dude, I'm so legit. I remember just there's so much of Kyoto I love, but just literally the train ride was so cool. Just seeing like the countryside, I was like, man, I want to live out here so bad.
And going back, if we went back to Japan, I would definitely get like an Airbnb or something in Kyoto.
Yeah. Oh, dude, that's
have
where
like
it's
a weekend there instead of, because we tried to do do it in one day.
There's so much to do there.
Yeah, I mean, it's an entire city.
I wanted to see the Kinkakuji so bad, dude. That was like the one thing. But no, it sucked because they're, we were using trains the whole time and walking the rest. And to get to Kinkakuji, this is more talk about Kyoto. I'll stop in a second. But it was just like you have to take a bus there. Anyway.
Yeah. So.
But we went to a few other little small towns too.
Just around. We went to some districts. In Tokyo. We went to Ikebukuro, which is where I can never say it. Sunshine City. Like even when we were in Japan, I'm like, we're going to Sunshine City. I'm like, shit. Like I can't say these words.
Yes.
Sunshine City. Dude, I don't know how they say it in Japan but we went. It's where the world's largest Pokemon store is. Ikebukuro is also where the Ava store is.
Yeah.
And it's also where Durarara is set, which is one of my favorite shows. So we went there, spent a day there, and then we went to the Tokyo Tower.
Yeah,
which was really cool.
We're jumping around all over the place.
We'll start getting into more specifics. As we go along, and then we went to the Tokyo Skytree.
Yes, and then. After that, though, I mean, we tried to do Ghibli.
We took the train out. I forget what district.
I can't remember the name of it. I know it was separate. It was like further.
It was nice, though. It was actually really...
I'm glad we did it.
I'm glad we did it, too, because... so with the Ghibli Museum, we ended up not being able to go because apparently you needed to buy tickets like a month in advance. And... in all of our research, I don't know how, but somehow that never came up when we were researching stuff in Japan. So I don't know how I missed that. So we ended up not being able to go to the Ghibli Museum. But the place it was in was like a residential district.
Yeah.
Because, Tokyo is one of the most uniquely set up cities. Because it's almost like if... there's a bunch of like city parts with like skyscrapers and businesses and like little oases in those skyscrapers are like these seas of almost like small towns in the middle of the skyscrapers. And it's I'll put up a picture or like video or something that kind of shows what I mean. But this was in like, it almost felt like it was in a small town. Like we were in almost as if we were in like Tyson's or like Loudoun County.
Yeah,
like
that's
Leesburg.
Exactly. If
like,
it was
that's what
more
it
dense.
Felt.
Yeah,
it literally felt like going to one of the smaller cities outside of Washington, D.C. Like it was super odd. It was all like apartments. Not like apartments, like townhouses.
Yeah, they were very close. They'd be like I don't know how you describe it. They're like, it would be like a single family home, but the size of like a townhouse.
Yeah. It was really cool though. It was a really pretty area, and I'm glad we took the train.
I got some nice photos too. Like
I got some good photos there, and I'll be as we're talking, I'll probably throw up some pictures.
That was the best decision. One of the best decisions I made about this whole trip was getting a new phone before I went.
Yeah.
Because man, I'm so like they're still not like amazing. These aren't like 4K video type things, but like they're so passable. They look so much better than like what I had before.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was kind of it. Did you want to start going into more of the daily stuff? Because I did want to mention one thing about like one of the first night/day things that happened.
Yeah, I do want to talk about that. And once we get past the kind of we'll go through our daily kind of what we did. And then after that, we'll go into kind of like the do's and don'ts and tips for people who want to travel to Japan. But I do want to talk about some of the stories there because we had a lot of fun, and we did a lot.
Oh yeah, we did absolutely a ton. Like the amount of stuff that like we both wanted to do and actually got to do is like actually crazy. Like
speaking of that, of wanting to do things, when I was there, I did some vlogs for my YouTube channel, and I'm glad I did because it's fun to go back and watch them and be like, oh, memories. But they also got a butt ton of views too.
I mean, yeah, it did.
But
hence why we're doing this topic second.
Right. As our like first official episode.
Yeah.
But one thing I wanted to mention though was there's so many times in the vlog where I'm like, yeah, today we're gonna do this and this and this.
Yeah.
And we ended up doing all those things. Just not on the day.
No.
Like every day we went out, we had a plan. We're like, okay, we're gonna do this and this and this today, and then we would get caught in some store and spend way too long there, and then walk around, get through like half of the things we wanted to do, and then just be exhausted, and just go back to them.
Being tired.
There was a lot of being tired because in Japan, like, you either take the train or you walk. Those are the two, especially when you're only 18 and can't rent a car.
And then also, you know, like the social norms of it too. Like there are some people like, I'm just gonna skateboard, screw it. You know, it's kind of like, you know, like that you're kind of stepping on people's toes. And anyway.
Oh yeah, you can definitely tell when you're fucking up.
Oh, easily.
In Japan, you get like the like
Sorry,
the Asian judgmental eyes.
Yeah.
Like they'll like look at you and like make eye contact, which doesn't happen.
No,
making
normally.
eye contact with someone in Japan doesn't happen unless they're pissed at you and want to tell you. Like because in Japan, like it's very rude to like yell or like call someone out,
or eat while you're walking,
or eat while you're walking. That's completely unrelated to what I'm talking about. Well, I'm saying like it's very rude to like confront somebody when they're doing something wrong. So they've like mastered the art of screaming at you with their eyes, just without saying anything. And I got a few like death glares.
Yeah, as you would. I think you get American death glares as well.
Yeah, I mean it happens in any city.
Yeah,
like any city has death glares, but like they've mastered it in Japan.
Do you remember it was so that like we landed like. It was I forget what time it was. It was late. It's probably like 3 or 4.
Yeah, it was
like in the afternoon. So like we basically didn't do much that night. Kind of just like went and got like a few drinks, like fucking coffee and shit. And
we went to the vending machines. And we went to
walked to like a grocery store.
We walked into a general store. Into a Family Mart.
Yeah.
And we'll talk about family. We'll talk about Family Mart.
But anyway, I just want to get to the thing I was saying. Is that like so then the second day we went and did a bunch of things, and I'll get into that. But we'd planned to go to the Tokyo Tower that day, and legit, we were both pretty decent with what's it called? The jet lag.
We didn't have any when we got there.
No, when we got there, we were fine. We're like, let's go.
It was coming home that we had. I had horrible.
Oh,
jet
I was
lag.
fine on the way. Like I was fine there and back. But the second day, though, legit, our whole afternoon was sleeping. Like legit, we lost that whole day.
Yeah, literally, and you can see
it snuck up on us too.
It did.
Literally, it was just like, we'll just wait here for an hour. We'll head out at 4, and then all of a sudden, just gone.
Yeah, and I said that in the vlog because in the vlog of the first day, I'm like, yeah, we're gonna go back to the hotel. We're gonna take like an hour-long nap, and like, and then we're gonna go to the Tokyo Tower tonight, and it's gonna be super fun.
Yeah.
And I'll pick you guys up later. And it cuts to me back home in my bed.
Oh yeah,
because I realized that when we went back for that quote-unquote hour-long nap, we both slept through the alarms and just woke up at like 5 a.m. the next day.
Yeah.
And we're like, well, shit.
That was
and so I
good.
had to film a video back home of me in my bed going like, hey guys, so remember how I said we were going to go to the Tokyo Tower? Here's what actually happened, and it was none of that. And it was, I totally remember that.
Yeah, because I think, I don't remember but that was the day we went to Yodobashi, right?
No, that was the second day.
Oh, that was, so the first day.
The first day, literally, we just were like, well, let's see where we are.
Oh, okay.
So we went and we walked, we wanted to figure out how to get to Akihabara. And how to get to the train station. So that's literally what we did, and then we went into Family Mart and bought some snacks.
I know we went to some small stores.
I bought that poppin' cookin' stuff, the donuts that were so bad and disgusting.
Oh yeah, I remember that. Now.
Yeah, that whole bit.
Because I remember, I think it was that night because I saw all the Your Name posters and stuff because the Blu-rays were just about to come out.
Yeah.
So I had Your Name on my phone, so I went and watched that like at 12 o'clock at night. That was amazing. Yeah. That was such a good experience. For one, to watch it in Japan, but like two, just like
I'll talk about my Your Name experience in a second.
Yeah.
But I wanted to talk about Family Mart really quick.
Yeah, it's the best.
Dude. So Family Mart, it's a convenience store in Japan. And when they say convenience store in Japan, they mean it. Like you can literally do so much at a convenience store in Japan. They have ATMs there. You can pay your bills there. They have trash cans. They have like food and like a lot of food. and like legit
They
food.
got like instant hot water and like a microwave. And
Yeah.
they had like literally everything. If you buy
Literally
ramen,
everything.
it's right there.
And with Family Marts, there's one literally everywhere. Like
Yeah.
I remember there's one part in between our hotel and Akihabara where you could look around and see 3 at once.
Yeah, you could be on a street corner and you could see 3 Family Marts.
Yeah.
And like
That's how common they were.
There were places where there was more like 7-Elevens, but
Yeah.
it was it definitely was like a 2-to-1 in terms of Family Marts to 7-Elevens.
Yeah.
And it was amazing.
They were great.
They're so clean. I mean, the whole city's clean. But when a store inside a clean city,
I only saw a single piece of trash when we were in Japan, and it was literally just like a coffee cup on a train that someone just like left on a shelf and forgot about.
dude, next time I go, I'm gonna
totally
take a
trash.
photo of every single bit of trash I see and see how many photos I can actually collect.
Yeah.
Those are the real Pokemon cards. And just be
Those are,
like,
the super
oh
rare
yeah,
holographic.
I got a Snickers wrapper. What are you gonna do about it? It's like, oh snap.
Oh yeah, the McDonald's bag scrub. Yeah. Dude,
no.
it was so clean. But the Family Mart, I want to just kind of go on that aside for a bit, just because how great. And then the second day is when we really started like doing things. We went to Yodobashi, which is like this big department store, like 6 floors of just awesomeness.
It really was. It was like, just think of a normal like American mall, but if you just stacked it.
It was like one of the like a Macy's, but like a city Macy's.
Yeah.
Where there's like
every
6
floor had everything you need. I mean, there was like,
it was like a Sears.
Yeah, a Sears on the ground floor,
A
basically.
Sears on the ground floor, then a Macy's with the clothes, then a GameStop, then a like Toys R Us, and like they had a whole section that was all just pianos.
Yeah, a lot
like
of pianos.
A bunch of pianos.
A lot of video
games. They had a
games.
whole video game section.
Yeah, a lot of
They had a
hobby
whole,
stuff. A ton
a
of
whole
hobby stuff.
Gundam section.
Yeah.
Like aisles and aisles of Gundam stuff.
That was the best.
And we bought a few things there, and then we went into then we went to I think we just kind of bounced around.
Oh no, yeah, I think
After Yodobashi,
yeah,
we kind of just hopped around.
that's interesting.
I
Sorry,
don't really remember what we did. I think we just went to
probably McDonald's or something.
we went to McDonald's a lot way more than we should have on this trip.
Yeah.
Because we were too scared to go into any of the restaurants.
Yeah, because we didn't know what we're gonna get prepared for. It'd just be like, okay, now you got to order your meal completely in Japanese, and it's like, oh.
Yeah, that would not have been good. So we went to McDonald's a lot, but then we went to this place called Hobby Paradise. Do you remember Hobby Paradise?
It's the one with the figures, right?
Yeah, it was this big figurine store.
That place was cool.
And we spent, again, too much time there.
Yeah, no, because we went there like 2 different times.
We went there a few times.
And you're right. And I think we only bought stuff there once, and because we didn't spend a lot there because it was just so expensive. I mean, our mind expensive, because it's like probably the most expensive thing I bought was probably like nearly 5,000 yen.
Yeah.
Which isn't a lot. You can spend way more than that.
Easily.
And because I was trying to make sure my money went through. Like I still had like all said and done, flight and everything. I probably had like $300 USA, or USD, left over. But yeah, that was a cool place.
That was a really cool place, and there were a few other stores that we went into that I can't remember the names of.
There was.
I think like the upper floors of Hobby Paradise had more like
they did. Stuff. They had a lot of anime stuff there. There was Animate or Animate.
Yeah, Animate was great. There's 2 Animates in Akihabara.
There is.
There's one on the corner that was on the way from the hotel, which was nice. Then there was the one further into Akihabara where the whole first floor is just all yaoi manga.
Yeah, no, I definitely remember that.
Which was hilarious.
That's probably why I like the other one better. Because I was like, that one's on the top floor, so I don't have to go up there all the time.
Yeah, no, but the other one which was so weird being in Japan and walking into an anime and it's just all yaoi.
Dude. Okay, I'm not sure I've told you this, but like legit. So, to clarify, so like I have, this is gonna sound weird, like a very non sequitur, just random tangent, but I have wide feet. And I've had issues with getting the right size shoe because I usually get a size up.
Yeah.
And anyway, that leads to me getting shoes that are the wrong size and stuff like that. Anyway, so I got these brand new pairs of Vans that I've been wearing. I wore them basically the whole time. And we're going through I don't remember the name of the store. It was one of these smaller manga stores that had like upper stories.
Yeah.
And
was it a Mandarake?
No.
It
was a very like it was next. I mean, no. It was like one of those off the name like discount place. Anyway.
Yeah.
So I go through the first one, don't find anything. So I go to the second store, and I think you were still looking. Oh, it was the CD place. No, remember the place?
I remember this.
The DVD and CD place.
I remember. So, I know exactly what you're about to say.
Legit.
This was one of the most uncomfortable I've ever been.
They had. So they're like, I go upstairs, right?
And I follow you.
You were there? Yeah.
I came with you.
And it was a spiral staircase, very steep stairs, wrong size shoes. And I'm going up there, and I get a glimpse. There's someone in the doorway. He's just a customer, but I get a glimpse of inside the store, and it's all just porn, straight up.
Not like hentai.
Yeah.
Like legit,
all of it.
like live action.
And it's like literally, I get up there and legit, I trip. I
remember
fall,
that.
And then I'm thinking like, and there's only for some reason there was only like 2 stories. I don't think there was more stories. So I was like,
if there were, I wasn't sticking around to find out.
Legit, I just bailed.
I saw legit like boobs.
Yeah.
On the wall, and I'm like, I don't want to be here.
Well,
I don't want people to see me here. I know that I'm never gonna see any of these people again, but I want to leave. As soon as I saw the, I'm like, I'm bouncing.
I was fine with that. It was tripping and falling on the way in. That's a terrible entrance to like go. Yeah, it's like great. Now I'm not only am I a foreigner, I'm a clumsy foreigner looking at anime boobs. You know,
not anime boobs.
Well,
real
there
boobs.
was a lot. There was a lot of anime stuff in there too, though.
I don't know. As soon as I saw that, I'm like, I'm uncomfortable and I'm gonna leave.
It was so good.
That was funny.
It was awkward at the time, but
so I have a Mandarake story, and this is, I don't know if you remember this, but this is my favorite Mandarake moment was. So at Mandarake, it's a manga and anime store, and like
used stuff,
yeah. And the first floor, which is the second floor, because the ground floor is like an mini arcade kind of thing.
Yeah, it was also a raffle place.
Yeah, so the second floor was like anime merchandise. Like they had a lot of. It was shonen. So how Mandarake is set up is each floor is a different genre. So the second and I think the third floor were shonen and seinen stuff. So, like, I bought an issue of Shonen Jump, and I bought, like, a few volumes of Blue Exorcist. I bought a really cool Fullmetal Alchemist poster. And the guy at working the register was dressed like Edward Elric, which was pretty funny. Do you remember that?
No, not at all.
No, yeah.
In Mandarake?
Yeah, Mandarake.
Oh, yeah.
The guy was straight up just cosplaying Edward Elric, running the register, and I'm like, this is great.
Dude, I love that store
and the
so
third
much.
Floor was, or the third floor was romance. And then you got into shoujo.
There was a doll floor. I know that too.
What?
Oh, like a doll floor?
A doll?
Yeah, you like the dolls.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I guess that's apparently a big hobby. Not the other dolls. Not the second story, porn window dolls.
Yeah, like legit, like
just
dolls. Like American Girl dolls type of dolls.
Yeah.
You have to clarify that when you're talking about dolls in Japan.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
They like saying dolls a lot. Like they put it for a lot of, anyway.
Yeah, anyway, but I want to talk about what was on the 6th floor of Mandarake, which as soon as I looked at the director and saw this, I was like, we have to go to this floor. It was a whole floor purely dedicated to yaoi.
No,
it was an entire floor.
That was above the dojins.
No, there were some dojins there.
Oh,
it was dojin and it was yaoi dojin. Like there was
not all.
There was a dojin floor.
Yeah,
where it was like straight dojin, but then there was the yaoi floor.
Yeah.
And like so we get there, we come out the elevator. As soon as the door opens up, right in front of us there's a big shelf of dojinshi, and behind that was a big wall scroll of 2 like anime guys, like buff, like ripped. It was in the Bata style, which I don't really want. I'm not gonna get into like the whole subgenres of yaoi and explain what everything is, but suffice to say, it was 2 buff anime dudes just hardcore making out, completely nude, and it was just a big wall scroll up it, just hanging there. And as soon as that is the first thing I saw when I walked in there, I'm like, oh my gosh, where are we? And I'm like, and I think you were like, we should leave. Like, I don't want to be, I don't want to be seen here.
Yeah.
And I was like, no, I'm walking through, and as we're walking through, I like made a point to try to stand next to you and like stand as close to you as I could.
Really?
And you like kept trying to like sidestep.
I don't remember that at all.
And I was like, I'm gonna stand next to him because the girl running the cashier, she looked at us, and then she like said something to like the coworker, and they started like looking at us and talking, and they totally thought we were together.
That's hilarious.
They totally thought we were gay. They're like, there's two white guys here looking at the yowie. What's happening? Because everyone else there was a girl.
Yeah.
And I remember I was walking, and they kept looking over at us and like whispering, like looking and like whispering. I don't remember. I think I ended up buying something.
You probably did.
I probably did, because when we were there, I'm like, I have to buy something from these girls. I have to give them what they want. And also the fact that I bought something, I think, made you more uncomfortable, and that was the main goal, was to make you uncomfortable.
Yeah. Because like at that point, because I think I remember I went down to another floor. Because the other Dojin floor, I'm fine with. Like I can walk around there all fine. But like legit, there was so much cool manga there, like used, like legit.
Yeah,
like, I bought.
I wish I bought more doujinshi.
Me too. I just remember the one thing that stands out to me is I remember I picked up one. It was like just normal Dojin, and it was like Saitama versus like Vegeta, and I was like, oh, that'd be really cool to have. Not a lot of people have that. One Punch Man's pretty big, and I look at it, it's like 4,000 yen. I'm like, that's a lot for a small book of manga when I can go downstairs, get a complete art book of Ava for like half that. Like, I'm buying that then.
If half that.
Yeah. No, Mandarake is such a cool store, dude. I could have spent literally. We went there twice.
Yeah.
And sadly, we only went to the Akihabara one. I think there's one in Ikebukuro, or maybe Shinjuku.
There is another one. There is a Mandarake in Ikebukuro.
Okay.
And I think we saw it, but I don't think we had time. So that's pretty much what we did in Akihabara, and then Don Quixote as well.
Yeah.
Is the other one we went to, but like everyone knows about Don Quixote, so I'm not gonna spend too much time on that. But in Ikebukuro, or do you want to talk about Harajuku or Ikebukuro next?
Harajuku would be better in the timeline, but
yeah,
was that before or after Tokyo Tower?
That was before. It was the same day. We went to Harajuku, and then we took the train to Tokyo Tower.
That was a busy day.
Yeah, Harajuku.
You're right. You're absolutely right.
That was a busy day. It was a lot of fun though. So we got to Harajuku, and the two things we wanted to do in Harajuku was, well, first I had to go and buy a charger cord for my phone.
Dude,
I'm so glad you did. At the
hotel.
Glad you did. And I actually think I still have it. It's the one I still use to this day. Is this charger cord? This is the one I bought in Japan. Yeah,
that's dope.
So I still have it with me. But we had to do that, and I remember I was vlogging, and as I was vlogging, I was telling people what the plan for the day was. And I have video of this, and I'll probably put it up. But as I'm vlogging, this random Japanese dude comes up behind me and goes, "Hey, bro," and I'm like, what's happening? I can't remember the name of the store. Hey. こんにちは。元気ですか？ありがとうございます。And I'm like, yeah, it's a YouTube. And he goes, hi, and like waves. And I tried to ask, and I was like, I was caught so off guard, so I forgot all the Japanese I knew. And I was like, I want to ask how he is, but I don't remember anything. And he's like, thank you. And then he was like, thank you very much. And like, then just walked away. And I was like, okay.
Yeah, it was so, I couldn't remember anything either. I think I might have said thanks. Like,
yeah, I said,
at the end, I was like, oh.
I said arigato. And that, but like, I completely forgot all my Japanese, and I'm bummed because I wanted to talk to him because he seemed like a really chill dude.
Yeah. Well, for one, most Japanese people rarely ever come up to you. Like, like especially just on the side of the road, because I think he was doing something with his car. He was like either getting in his car or he was like unloading something. Mm-hmm. But no, that was super cool. Harajuku was pretty neat, like the actual like downtown.
Yeah. So we went to Takeshita Dori Street, and then we went to like the downtown part of Harajuku because we wanted to go to I almost said Pacific Playland, but that's the amusement park from Zombieland. Kittyland.
Oh,
Kittyland, which was this big like 5-story tall toy store.
Yeah, that was more of toy store compared to like Akihabara. Where
yeah, like it was like, and it was also separated by floors. They had like a Pokemon floor. They had a Hello Kitty floor.
Yeah, it was actually all Sanrio stuff.
Yeah, and they had a Nintendo floor too. They had a bunch of Nintendo stuff, and they had like a little Ghibli section as well.
Yeah, they did have some sections of stuff too.
Yeah, but that was cool, and that was more in like the downtown area. And then Takeshita Dori Street was really cool. There was a lot. I ended up buying a lot because when we were walking down Takeshita Dori, I also realized I've been calling it Takeshita Dori Street, which doesn't make any sense because Dori is street, so I'm saying Takeshita Street. But when we were walking down Takeshita, I saw this poster outside of a store, and it was literally just a poster of all the characters from Free, Iwatobi's Film Club. And I saw that, I'm like, we have to go in here. And it was like a clothing store.
You know, it was super weird.
It
had like a whole balcony where all the anime stuff was.
Yeah, so it was this clothing store, but in the back of it there was a staircase, and going up the staircase they had life-size cardboard cutouts of every single character from Free. And I got some pictures with them, of course, because I had to. And then the top floor was like a balcony overlooking the clothing shop, and it was all anime stuff.
Yeah,
and it was all like sports anime, which was great. So they had Haikyuu, they had Free, they had Yuri on Ice, and I remember I bought a bunch of keychains from Free. And then I bought a Hinata figurine from Haikyuu for...
I think all I got was an Ava file holder. That's all
I got a Blue Exorcist file holder.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was pretty cool. And then...
After that was Tokyo.
After that we went to the Starbucks. It was a Starbucks on a rooftop garden. Yeah. And the reason I knew about it was because Dan and Phil, who at the time were my favorite YouTubers, but Dan, I think, quit YouTube. Well,
I didn't know that.
He didn't like officially quit.
But he just stopped.
He just stopped. Like, he hasn't uploaded anything since his coming out video last year.
Really?
That was the last thing he did. And so it's been well over a year since he's uploaded. So I think he quit. And Phil still uploads like occasionally. But I mean, I always preferred Dan way more. And then their gaming series as well. But yeah, no, Dan and Phil is dead. Yeah. Unfortunately, but at the time they went.
Yeah, and you were set on it. You were set on going to like nearly everything that they went to.
Yeah, I'm following in my master's footsteps. And
but no, it was cool. It was
a really cool Starbucks.
It was well worth it.
It was definitely worth it.
Like, I hated, like, I didn't like it. I remember, like, I was like, oh man, I'm getting dragged to go to a Starbucks. Like, this is the way, out of all the things we could be doing in Japan, like, really, I want to go to a Starbucks. But no, it's super dope once we got up there.
Yeah, great views.
Yeah.
Great views.
Some of my best shots are on that Starbucks.
Yeah. That's where you made the time-lapse joke, too. You said, like, you could literally just make time-lapses of this country and sell them.
Yeah.
And people would buy them. Like, you literally could.
Yeah.
And then we went to Meiji Jingu.
Yes.
Temple, which was unfortunately under construction.
Yeah.
So we didn't get to really see it.
It was so weird because it was under construction, and then like you said, it was very touristy. The only thing I remember about it is the cleansing fountain.
Yeah.
And then me drinking water and getting yelled at. That was the only thing I remember.
I don't remember
you don't remember? No, because it was okay. So you know where the booth was, where they're selling the talismans, like
the Omomoris.
Yeah,
which I still have mine right now.
Yeah, like that booth. Like I was kind of further away, and I had my massive ass it was like 1 quart of like 7-Eleven water.
Big thing of water.
And I've been rocking that the whole day. So I was like, okay, I'm tired. I'm just gonna drink water. And then she's just like, she said something. I don't even remember. And I do remember because I said, instead of like Gomen Nasai, I said Sumimasen because I was just like, I couldn't think of anything.
I mean, that's close enough.
It was exactly that was,
and they probably got the point of what you were trying to say.
Because like I felt like there's times when you Sumimasen and obviously Gomen Nasai, and it's like I didn't feel that bad. It was more of just like and obviously had I really thought about it being a shrine, I probably would have actually been more sorry. But but no, I mean, other than that, in the bonsai trees, I do remember those.
Yeah,
those were really cool.
Do you remember? I remember there was someone graduating. Like someone was taking their senior pictures there, which was really funny. And that's what I meant by, like, it was really touristy. Like, there were a lot of white people around.
Yeah.
And there were a lot of people doing stuff that you're not supposed to do at temples that no one really seemed to care about. Like, going through the gates the wrong way and stuff like that. Like, you're not supposed to walk through the middle of the gate. You're supposed to walk around the sides, but everyone was walking through the middle, just like But yeah, it was really cool.
Yeah, it was cool.
And then we went to Tokyo Tower.
Yeah,
which was super dope.
It sucked that the top floor was under construction.
Yeah, we only got to go up one level to like to the lower observation deck. So the highest observation deck was under construction. But what wasn't under construction was Tokyo Skytree.
Yes.
Which we went a few days later.
That was dope.
I hated that so much.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm glad I did it. For those who don't know, Tokyo Skytree is the second tallest structure in the world. It's the tallest tower in the world. Second tallest structure. Because it's not a building. It's a tower. And I am terrified of heights. So we get up there, and I was not having a good time. And I remember you were just laughing at me.
Yeah, no, because like legit, like I'm not good with heights if I'm like out, like let's say I'm climbing something, or it's like I can easily just fall. But if I'm in a building, like I'm fine. That's like legit. I know I'm safe, and plus I'm in another country, so I'm like legit. I was just like legit, like. I did not care. I was like, I'm dragging Jonah through this. It's like, I want to go to the top. Like,
yeah,
like to
and
me,
we went to the very, very top, and
we paid extra to go to the top, like the very top.
Yeah, we paid extra. And I ended up getting to see kind of Mount Fuji. We never. That was the biggest disappointment. Is the whole time we were there, it was cloudy like every day, and so we never got to see Mount Fuji.
Yeah, that was a bummer.
That was a big bummer. But I remember it was great. Tokyo Skytree was so cool. You could see like the whole city. Yeah. And it was beautiful views. So I'm really glad that I did it. But I was horrified the entire time, and it was not a good time for me. Yeah. I had a poor time. But
it was cool. I think I still liked Kyoto a lot better. Although I got a lot of cool photos from the Skytree. Like even just going to the Skytree.
Yeah. Speaking of Kyoto, that is the last place we went. Actually, no, we still need to talk about Ikebukuro.
Yeah, we went to Kyoto, and then it was like Kyoto was in the middle. But yes.
Yeah, do you want to talk about Ikebukuro first? Because Kyoto's going to take the longest.
Yeah, you're right.
So I think we didn't do too much in Ikebukuro.
No, it was a pretty chill day.
I mean, we literally what we did was we stopped by a few places that were in Durabara.
Yeah,
and like took
basically,
pictures.
And then Pokemon Center, and then the Ava store, which was pretty underwhelming.
Pokemon Center was really cool, though.
Oh, it was cool, yeah.
I had a good time at the Pokemon Center.
Yeah, and I mean, that was just kind of like a mall. And then other than that, it was kind of just like chill and then head back.
I think we went into another anime.
I think we did. I think it was a. I feel like it wasn't. I feel like it was the one in Akihabara though. I don't think we went to one in.
Yeah, that's right. We went to Ikebukuro. We were like, okay, that was cool. We went back to Akihabara and just spent more money on anime stuff in Akihabara.
Well, I mean, like I do remember like I feel like I didn't spend a ton in anime. Like I remember I spent a lot in Mandarake, and a lot of like there was a lot of like secondhand stuff or like video game. Oh, Super Potato! I really liked Super Potato. I bought some games from there. I wish I would have bought in like a Super Famicom. Just been like, you know what?
Yeah, I wish I would have bought a console.
Just like
too.
You know, besides, I mean, they're not even that expensive. It's like okay, like what? It's at the absolute max, 7,000 yen. It's like, you know, that's to have a console that you bought in Japan. You know, that's pretty cool.
I wish I would have bought a Game Boy.
That would have been dope.
They had like a whole crate of Game Boys.
And to make you feel even worse, you could play any game on the Game Boy. Those were region free.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway. No, I should have bought some games too, because I could have gotten like Clannad for the PS4. I could. There's a lot of cool games I could have gotten. But, but that was one of the things
too.
Is
the PS4 region locked?
No, it's not.
Okay.
I think no, it's not. Yeah, it's pretty cool. But yeah,
that would have been a great buy.
That would have been really dope. But again, at the time, I was like, I'm conserving my money, you know.
Yeah.
Because it was like, again, like I didn't want to spend an exuberant amount. Because if I go and spend like $150, it's like, okay, that could have been food. That could have been, you know. I never know.
And
I
also didn't want
to
get to a place and see something way cooler and then
not
have
that was kind of it too. It was just like suitcase space. That was the main thing.
Yeah,
suitcase I can't leave anything behind.
Yeah.
But yeah, other than that was basically Ikebukuro. Kyoto was kind of the big one.
Yeah, so we ended up taking the bullet train out to Kyoto, which was really dope.
Yeah, if you're gonna go to Kyoto, do that. Like, there's no point taking a bus or anything.
Oh yeah, it would have.
Oh yeah, that's one thing. Like if you're going to Japan, rail pass 100 fucking percent. Like that is the best
JR Rail Pass.
That's the best money you can spend because like there's times where you
it's like
can't
$250.
use it. Yeah, and it's like it saves you so much time.
It saved us time and it did save us money.
Oh no, you save a ton more money.
The Shinkansen trip was $250.
Yeah, normally. Yeah.
But since we had the JR Rail Pass, which covered some of the Shinkansen lines, we got it for free. Like you spend $250 for the week. And it's unlimited use at all the trains. The only thing it doesn't work on is the subway.
Yeah, and then
and some of the Shinkansen.
Yeah, I was gonna say some of the Shinkansen.
But like the subway was like $2. Like
the subway wasn't bad, but it's like just the ability just to be like done, and then you hop on and nothing to worry about.
Yeah,
you know?
it was great, and we took the train a lot.
Oh yeah, you have to. If you especially if you can't rent a car. There's like you have to.
Yeah.
And it's. Yeah, it's just
it's better than renting a car too. Like if I go back to Japan,
to go and find places to park.
Yeah, even now that honestly, I can rent a car, I'd still be getting.
I think the big brain thing to do would be to like have a bike. I feel like that would be like you could see so. I mean, it would suck because being on a bike for like extended periods of time would suck. But like, I really want to travel more of just like the countryside and like Hokkaido.
I'd love to bike the countryside.
That'd be so cool.
That'd be super dope.
Yeah, well, moving back to Kyoto, though.
Kyoto was so cool. So we got there, and we got off, and immediately bought some matcha ice cream.
Oh, yeah.
Which was great. And so there was a few things we wanted to do when we were in Kyoto. We wanted to go to the bamboo forest, which I can't remember the name of it.
I think we just called it the bamboo forest.
We did, but it has a name. I want to say Aokigahara, but that's definitely not it. I know it's not Aokigahara because that's the suicide forest. So it's not that. I did want to go to the suicide forest, but you weren't having any of that.
No, to me it seemed like did we go before?
We went before Logan Paul. It was pre-Logan Paul.
That's good. Yeah, no. I would. Well, definitely now I would go, but yeah. I mean, at the time I was kind of like when. Being out of the country for the first time, you're kind of just like, I want to maximize my time, money, and safety. Yeah. And it's like, do I really want to go all the way out there? And then also, you want to maximize opportunities. Mm. You don't want to go drive a million. This is a good example. Good thing we're talking about Kyoto.
Yeah.
You don't want to go drive, 20 minutes and find out that there was some cool happening like 5 feet away.
Yeah.
But yeah, that similar thing happened in Kyoto.
Yeah, so in Kyoto, we wanted to go to the bamboo forest. I really wanted to go to the Fushimi Inari Shrine.
Yeah.
And then I wanted to go to... You wanted to go to the manga library.
I wanted to go to the manga museum, the Kinkakuji, and I remember I
wanted to go to the Kinkakuji.
I wanted to go to the train museum, but obviously that was not happening.
I was not coming with you to the train museum. I'm sorry. But yeah, I wanted to go to Kinkakuji.
Oh, wait, I wanted to go to the Imperial Palace, but that was later because I didn't even know it was there.
Yeah, we ended up actually. I have a funny story about the Imperial Palace in Tokyo. We got fussed at by a guard at the Imperial Palace because we went and the gate was open and we just walked through and it turns out that they were actually closed.
Yeah.
So as we're walking through the gate, some guy just walks in front of us. We're like, what? He's like, sorry, it closed. And we're like, oh, gomenasai. And like we shuffled away, really embarrassed. But that was the Imperial Palace. But so that's what we wanted to do. Those were the four things we wanted to do in Kyoto. So we're like, hey, let's go to the bamboo forest too. And so we pull it up on Google Maps, and you quote unquote found it. And we started walking towards it. Yeah. And I'm like, I think it's like that way, where I see all this bamboo over there.
Legit.
Like, no, Google Maps says it's this way, so it must be this way. So we start going to where Google Maps takes us. We go kind of get out of the city and go on this hiking trail, which was a beautiful hiking trail. It was
so beautiful.
It went along this mountain river that was turquoise colored from all the sediment. And so we're following this trail, end up climbing an entire mountain.
Yeah, dude, that was sick.
And when we get up there, and it's just some tiny shrine. It was a really cool shrine.
It was dope.
Great views overlooking Kyoto. Yeah. And the people there were super nice. And great place. And so when we're there, I'm like, well, this clearly isn't the bamboo forest,
Yeah.
and the trail ends at this.
In my defense, like legit, okay, this is 2017 Google Maps. If you look it up right now, you can see it clear as day that I went in the wrong direction. But that being said, it's like literally there's this particular photo. If you look at the bamboo forest, it's like this heavily like wooded quote unquote like forest, and it's like it seems like it'd be this really far off thing, not in the literally the bamboo forest is like literally like this small little park in the middle of all these houses and shops, and it's like when like I looked and clicked on this other temple. And it had that like same photo, so I'm like, oh, cool, it's over there, and that makes more sense to me, you know?
Yeah.
That's why I was like, okay, it's over there.
Yeah.
And then we get to the bamboo forest, and it's like the most underwhelming thing.
It was super, because the thing is they were trimming it.
Yeah.
So they were
There was
cutting down
nothing.
a bunch of the bamboo to keep it from overgrowing. So I feel like if we went now, it would be a lot cooler.
Oh,
It would be
definitely.
a lot fuller. But
Although there was a ton of people there for
there were a
boring
ton.
as it
Well, it
was.
was a Sunday.
Oh yeah, it was.
We went on a Sunday. But anyway, so we get to the shrine, super cool.
Yeah, no, it's
and
such
I
a
end
cool
up
shrine.
going up to the monk there
Yeah.
and showing him the picture and was like, Sumiya-san, kore wa doko desu ka?
Yeah.
And he was like, oh, and he told me that it's down by the train station.
Yeah.
If you go past the train station.
Yeah,
And I'm
right,
like-
right where we were.
And he said the UN Garden Park. And I'm like, oh, the thing I pointed to when we were right there and said,
Yeah.
I think it's there. And I was like, all right, thank you very much. So we start walking, and I gave you so much shit for it.
Yeah, but like again, like
It was worth it, though.
no, yeah, like, it was
love
deserved.
that
It was
place.
deserved. But yeah, I legit.
But like looking back, I'm really glad we.
Dude, there's
we
so much
climbed
cool
that
shit there. Like literally, like I went into photographer mode. I got so many cool shots from that
Yeah.
place, and it was so much like there was so much less tourists and shit too.
Mhm.
It was so nice. Yeah, no, and it was cool to see the over the bridge.
Yeah.
like that would have been kind of a bummer if we just never saw that. But it just shows Kyoto's massive, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, it used to be a capital for a reason.
Yeah. It's like Japan's Boston.
I haven't been to Boston, so I can't say.
Uh,
I feel like Boston's,
as far as like,
Boston's shitty.
as far as like being having a lot of history there.
Yeah.
Like in that kind of vein. But
After, I mean, do you want to talk about the bamboo? Well, we kind of already talked about the bamboo.
yeah, we
forest.
kind of already talked about it. There's not much to say there. And then we went to Fushimi Inari, which
Yes.
was super cool.
That was worth it.
Super cool.
It was a big time sink, but it was worth it. 100%.
Oh yeah, we spent like 3 hours there.
Yeah, because that was legit a mountain. Like,
That was legit, like,
that was
a mountain.
bigger than the shrine thing we just climbed.
Yeah, but it was so worth it.
Yeah,
It was
it's like how much
so
people
cool.
were there, but that's just how it is. you
Yeah.
know? There's no like, you would have to go. It'd have to be like legit, like a epidemic going on. Would have to like reduce
Yeah,
the
yeah,
amount
yeah.
of people there
Yeah, we need a new plague.
just for tourism.
Just for tourism.
That's actually what it was. Is all the millionaires and billionaires of the world like, hey, we want to go do some sightseeing, but we don't like all these tourists.
Jeez.
Big brain.
Don't be putting conspiracies on YouTube.
Yeah, we're gonna get shut down. And
We're
like
gonna get shut down
Facebook
before we even
promoting the
start up.
wrong things.
But so after Fushimi Inari, we started walking back to the train station. Before we left, I wanted to go to Kyoto Tower, purely because of Blue Exorcist.
Yeah, I know.
That
was like the legit. That was the only thing that ruined. Like, well, okay, I don't want to say ruined, but slightly tainted so much of like the things. Because it's like, oh, let's go to this cool place because anime. And it's like legit. That was like me and like you at the same time. It's like, oh, but it's a cool place with all this history, but also anime.
But yeah, I'm like, Rin went here and he was excited about it. So
Oh, but Shigeru Miyamoto grew up here. But anime though. He actually did.
Yeah. It's like, dude, whoa, this building's so cool. But also, Dan and Phil were here.
Yeah, right.
Like, that's our whole trip was, this place is dope and also anime. But yeah, that's pretty much the overview of our whole trip.
I mean, yeah, pretty much.
Is there anything else you want to talk about before we start going into the kind of the do's and don'ts for anyone else who wants to travel there?
Let me take a quick look because, like, I think that was nearly everything. Because I mean, we did a lot of shopping. and
Yeah,
stuff,
most
too.
of our thing was shopping.
Um,
I do want to mention the Gundam Cafe.
oh, yeah,
That
Gundam
was
Cafe
really cool.
Yeah, that was cool.
The Gundam Cafe, I got a latte shaped like Orga Itsuka.
I
Because
forgot about that.
Orga's my daddy.
I took the Ek guy.
Dude, he was so... He even looks hot in the latte. What am I talking about?
There was a YouTuber. I guess I'm still subscribed to him. He actually got a job at the Gundam Cafe.
Really?
Yeah, that's where he worked.
That's
It was
incredible.
Yeah, it was so dope.
I also got a Zaku ice cream.
Yeah, no, you got food there. I just went with the latte.
Yeah, I really wanted the Zaku ice cream. But that's pretty much.
Yeah, that was
That's pretty
about
much
it.
everything. I mean, I don't have much more to add. Like, we didn't get to go to the fish market.
You didn't go to the fish market.
The fish market in Tokyo.
Tokyo.
The big fish market.
What do you mean big fish market?
The big fish market in Tokyo.
What are you talking about?
How do you not? What the?
Big fish market.
How do you not know about that?
You trust it?
It's one of the most popular tourist spots in Tokyo.
Japan. Use my two.
Are you serious about this? Do you seriously have no idea about the fish market?
The Tsukiji fish market?
Yes, the Tokyo Fish Market.
Oh, over by Odaiba? Wait,
Yes.
This looks like Odaiba, isn't it?
Yes. How?
Actually, no. When I went, I had no idea this existed.
Oh my gosh.
Dude, I swear to God, you did not bring this up when we were going. You
Well, because I didn't know about it then.
Well, but we didn't go then.
That's why I said we didn't go. I said we didn't get to go to the fish market.
But we're not gonna eat fish there.
Oh,
although, dude, it'd be
that's
sick if we
not
did
the
that.
f***ing point. I am in a bad mood now. You just put me in a bad mood with this bullshit.
I'm sorry. Do you know about the freaking caves in the Cappadocia region of Turkey?
Yes.
Oh, and I can't think of another more obscure fucking place. Like legit.
This
fish
isn't
market.
even an obscure place. This is one of the most popular tourist spots in the entire f***ing country.
It's a fish market.
Yes, it's one of the world's largest fish markets. How do you?
Close to the center of the city. Former Tokyo governor Shintaro Ishii.
Oh
blah, blah, blah.
my gosh, dude, I can't. I have no words. I don't even know what to say.
There's a PlayStation 2. Fuck, I got Gran Turismo 4.
What
There's
are
a
you
photo-
talking about?
If I played more of Gran Turismo 4, I could have seen the fish market and I would have known.
Oh my gosh. I don't even know how to move on from this.
Oh, it was in I Survived a Japanese Game Show. Maybe I have seen this.
Oh,
before.
I don't even.
Legit, I had no idea this existed.
I hate that. I'm so upset now.
Market opened in 1935.
I'm gonna move on from this and talk about the PPAP store. Thanks for ruining my day with that bullshit.
I mean, I don't know what to say.
Revelation.
How, like, just not knowing a thing that exists. I don't see how that can be a day ruiner. It's like it's a fish market.
Yeah, I
Like,
just I don't
I
know
wouldn't-
why I'm upset about it. All I know is that for some reason I'm very upset by that.
Like, I know that
I
there's a
don't know what to
Wuhan
do.
market, you know. I know about that one, but I don't know about this fish market, you know.
Okay.
Anyway.
Moving on from that, last thing I want to talk about before we move into tips is just the PPAP store at the Tokyo Skytree.
Yeah.
I have a great picture that I'll throw up now of me with the PPAP guy looking
good photo.
so happy. And they had like a whole section of the store. They had like PPAP toilet paper, PPAP masks, pens.
Mm-hmm.
Oddly enough, no apples or pineapples. But you know, now I want to move on into some tips for people who want to travel to Japan themselves.
Mm-hmm.
First of all, what to bring.
Well,
Obviously money.
Yeah, depend. Well, okay, I would say you're right. Just depends on your goals. Like, are you planning to bring anime shit back, or are you just going to see stuff?
Yeah. So that's something you need to consider. If you're going to buy anime shit, bring a second bag, an empty bag.
Yeah.
What I did is I put all of my clothes and stuff in a small suitcase, and then put that suitcase in a bigger suitcase. So that way I had one suitcase going in, and then on the way back, I kept all my stuff in the smaller suitcase and used the big one for packing.
I think I did that too, because what I did is I had a big, like, Navy commissary backpack, and I put that inside of a suitcase, and then I just had a carry-on little. Actually, that was after I bought that bag in Japan. I could have brought it there. That's the freaking Chinese Kamina bag.
Yeah. Yep.
I forgot what it says.
I remember that.
Anyway, yeah.
Seasonal clothing, because if you're going to be up north, it's going to be cold.
Yeah.
If you're going to be down south, it's going to be hot. Summers in Japan are brutal. It was very hot when we were there.
We were in May. I mean, it wasn't.
We were
the
in
worst.
June. We went in June.
Oh, you're right. It was June.
Yeah,
6th.
it was June.
6th.
Because it was literally we graduated, and then the next day we were on a plane.
I think it was like 2 days.
2 days.
Yeah.
Either way, it was like right after. But bring seasonal clothing. Also, something I would recommend bringing, if you want to, is a festival calendar. you can buy calendars that have all the Japanese festivals laid out. So if you want to go to a festival, you can have a calendar and find out what days they are or where they are.
Yeah.
That's something I would definitely recommend. That's something that I think if I went back to Japan for a while, I would definitely bring one.
Yeah, no, I definitely, thinking back, I think it'd be best to, like, if you're on the fence about, like, you know, get a new phone, new camera. I mean, literally, you know, go ahead, like, just straight up do it. Buy an external battery.
Yes.
I had one, but
I had one too.
I got it for free, but it was because it was a gift. It was a small one. Legit, I bought one. It's on like $30 on Amazon.
Yeah.
And it is literally one of the best ones you can ever buy. And it has, I think it's like 30,000 milliamps or something.
Yeah.
It's a ton.
What I did was I had a charger pack. Like a battery pack that
like
I
battery.
put in my pocket and then just plugged my phone into it all day. And like, so never had my phone die on me, which was great.
That's exactly.
So I definitely recommend being a charging pack or an external battery or something like that.
Surprisingly enough, we didn't run into any outlet issues. Or is Japan the same outlets?
Japan's the same outlets.
Okay, that's why.
So that is another thing. Japan has the same
used
outlets.
I think there might have been. Oh no, we had to because the hotel. Yeah, you're right. It had the same outlets.
Yep. Most hotels will usually have both. Excuse me. Types of outlets.
We already mentioned the rail pass. Get the rail pass.
Yes, JR Rail Pass. What I'll do is I'll leave a link to the website down in the description of this episode.
And then obviously look up your carriers on, you know, international phone plans.
Yes.
Or SIMs.
Luckily, with Verizon, I got international minutes. And it was like 12. I think it was free because I think Verizon has like a deal with one of the carriers over there.
Mine was definitely free too because it was like literally like, okay, reboot your phone and do this thing. I was like, okay. And then it was actually it was scary for the first, like, well, okay, it's quote unquote scary because it was more of just like my family wants to know I didn't die in a plane crash. I gotta tell them, but I have no way of doing that. You know, like I didn't want to email them, and also But what was I gonna say? Get the SIM card set.
And you can, if your carrier doesn't have it over there, you can buy a SIM card at like the airport. And they're not expensive.
Not at all.
So
it would suck to go back to the airport. That's one thing is like you definitely like you don't want to have to go back to the airport unnecessarily. Because it's
but like when you land, if you know you need to, that's why you do your research beforehand, and that way because you can buy them when you land or before you take off. You can usually buy a SIM card.
And luckily, none of us, we didn't lose our passports. That was really great.
Yeah, that was good.
That would have sucked having to go to the embassy.
That would really have sucked.
That would have sucked so bad.
I don't even want to think about how bad that would have sucked. Don't lose your passport, people. That is the big thing. Keep it.
What's bad is I had it in my pocket nearly the entire time.
Which is insane to me.
Yeah, legit, like nearly the entire time.
If not, keep it in your backpack. Like my backpack has a zip-up pocket inside one of the other zip-up pockets, and that's where I kept my passport. Was in the zip-up pocket inside the other zip-up pocket. That way, like, it wasn't going anywhere, and I just kept it there. Take good care of your passport.
That's just a nightmare.
On the hotel, flight, and travel side, we already talked about the rail pass. Do your research.
Yeah.
Do your research.
Yeah, literally, it'll save you so much.
Biggest thing I do is do your research. Also, figure out what part of Tokyo or what part of Japan you'll be spending most of the time, and try to get a hotel near there. We knew we'd be spending most of our time in Akihabara, so we got a hotel near Akihabara. But if you want to be spending more time in Shinjuku or more time in Ikebukuro, get a hotel near there. And also try to find one. I mean, it's not gonna be that hard, but try to find one near a train station.
Yeah, no, that's kind of the main thing. That'll save you a lot. If it's near a train station.
Yeah, because ours was like
less walking.
Yeah, ours was like a 10-minute walk to the train station, and then from there we were able to get to Ikebukuro, Shinjuku, Shibuya, all of that. Don't go super cheap with the hotel and flight.
Yeah, definitely
either.
Not.
Don't like be affordable. Obviously, you can go affordable and you can find affordable options, but especially on the flight, a lot of people will tell you, "Oh, you can cheap out on the flight; it's fine."
Yeah.
No, because if you lose your baggage, they're coming back.
Yeah.
Especially if you lose your souvenir bag, do not cheap out on the flight.
Yeah.
And it's a long flight already, and usually the cheaper flights will have layovers, so you'll be traveling for like 30 hours.
Yeah.
So don't cheap out on the flight. Obviously, you don't have to do the $2,000 United flight that we had.
And you can also do a like it doesn't have to be a direct flight.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be a direct flight, and a lot of times you can bundle the flight with
a hotel.
The hotel.
Yes,
which is another thing you can definitely do. If you're young, look into youth hostels. I don't know if there's any in Japan, but I know that a lot of countries have like youth hostels. So if you're like traveling between the ages of like 18 and 25, it's like a really cheap place to stay. Look, Airbnbs are a good option. Yeah. Especially if you want to be in the countryside. Some traditional inns.
I think one thing to mention. Are you still going on hotels? Or?
I'm talking about hotels. I'm just listing all the options of hotels. I would love to have spent a night at a traditional inn. I think that'd be really cool.
That would be cool. Logistics
also,
is hard, though.
With Japan, capsule hotels. Look into capsule hotels.
Oh.
If you aren't going to be spending a lot of time in your hotel room, if you're just using it for sleep, get a capsule hotel. Like, that's an affordable and genuine option.
Yeah.
Just something to remember.
It just really depends on how many people you're traveling with. And
if you're traveling alone, definitely get a capsule hotel.
One thing I wanted to mention, because I think it's something we could have done a lot better, is planning out. And it's difficult when you're talking about, like literally across the planet. But
yeah,
it's planning food and like times to eat and what like literally breakfast and then when things open. That's like such a hard thing to do.
Stuff opens late in Japan. Like the stuff in Akihabara didn't open up to like 11.
Yeah, no, it was 10. 10 was when the first stores would start opening, and then the later ones were 11.
Yeah.
And that sucked. And there was, I'm sure there was restaurants that were open, but like
yeah, Family Mart was 24/7.
Yes. So it's like unless you're wanting to eat breakfast at Family Mart every day, and
which you can do.
Oh, it's doable. Yeah.
And it's not bad either.
Yeah, no, it's definitely not the worst option. Like literally what I did for a little bit, and it didn't work out the best because it was again like it's such an afterthought thinking of food because it's like okay, food, go to McDonald's. Like literally, it's like if you're starving, go eat. Like,
or KFC. The KFC in Japan's way better than it is.
I mean, there was so many restaurants like Denny's and like
lots of cheap sushi places and like good cheap sushi places.
Yeah, but I agree, it is difficult, especially if it's like your first time to go and find or to carve out time to go eat. Like literally for breakfast, like I went and got like literally it was like a bag of cereal, and and I went and got milk at Family Mart, and I don't have any bowls. It's a hotel, so I have this like maybe like 4-inch tall little glass, and I don't think it even had a spoon, so I drink it like a yogurt or something.
Yeah,
and it was terrible, but it's like literally like Jonah, like you'd wake up so late, and I'd be like up at like 7 or 8. And I'm like, okay, like I gotta go eat, but I don't want to leave him here because for one, like getting separated and something happened, and I'm fucked. So it's like I was just like, I guess I'll just make do here,
Yeah, one thing that I loved doing for breakfast was we found a street vendor in Akihabara who was a taiyaki vendor, and taiyaki is so good.
It was good.
For those who don't know what taiyaki is, it's like, think of it as like a fish-shaped waffle that's like filled with either fruit or cream or chocolate or sometimes even meat.
Yeah,
like they're the best. They're so good.
Yeah, that's one thing I wish I would have done is eat more at food vendor places. Like the amount of food vending like YouTube I watch nowadays, I'm like, so sad.
That would have been nice. What else?
We didn't talk about arcades, dude.
We didn't go to any arcades.
I know.
That was that was another big regret.
We went inside arcades, but
we went inside, but we never did anything.
Yeah, because they're just to us. I mean,
they're super intimidating when you're 18 and alone.
There's that too, and I think part of at least me was like you're going for the experience. That's good, but also it's like if I'm gonna just throw 4,000 yen at a video game, I could put that into something else I can keep.
Yeah.
And remember, But that being said, I wish I would have gone.
Yeah.
Trying to think. I mean, obviously, we can't speak from personal experience on like emergency services or crime or anything like that. Because ours was such a carefree trip. I'm trying to think. Like literally, I think the worst thing
and the crime rate in Japan is basically non-existent.
Yeah. I mean, sure, I'm sure it does happen, and there's sketchy places to be.
Oh yeah, like don't go to Shibuya at night. Like just be aware. Like be aware of where like the hotspots are for the Yakuza. They usually don't. What?
And it's so funny to me where it's like 1 second, it's like, yeah, it's such a like crime-free country. It's like, but you got to know exactly where these places are. Stay away from the Yakuza. They are everywhere. They will hunt you down and murder you.
That's not at all what I'm saying. I'm just like, I'm saying is
I don't go and research the locations of the Yakuza.
No, just like be aware of where the
they're at GameStop. Like freaking Yakuza Kiwami right there. Yakuza 0.
No, what I'm saying is like be aware of where like the red light districts are and like stuff like
he is
like,
right, but it's
be aware of where the seedy area. There are seedy places in Tokyo, so just be aware of where those are.
Just vibe it out.
Especially if you're traveling in a group, go off. But even then, especially if you're drinking, there's a lot of ways you can get trapped in Japan. I know some people who have some like quote unquote horror stories.
You know, when I saw that thing with Super Mega, literally I was like, oh shoot. And then that started making me think back because like I met certain people that spoke English and I'm like, oh yeah, that was the one thing that tipped me off. Do you remember? I know I'm getting away from the tips thing.
No, it's fine.
But do you remember in Kyoto when it was just after the Bamboo Forest where I think we were trying to get to like the train stations to go to the Fushimi Inari Shrine.
Yes.
There was like this. Oh no, I think it was some garden or some shit we were by. Anyway, it doesn't matter. But there was these like people on the side of a corner, and they were like Japanese, dressed in like the whole what the yukatas, like
yukata and kimono.
Yeah, like one of like those whole things, and they come up to us like asking like directions or something. Like, do you remember that?
They asked for a picture.
Oh, that's what it was.
Yeah, I took their picture.
Oh, because I didn't know what it was. I was like, I'm not. Like,
no, it was actually in Fushimi Inari. It was like halfway up the mountain.
This wasn't Fushimi Inari. This is another one. This is over by the Bamboo Forest.
Oh, okay. So then I don't.
No. It was something weird. Like, because she spoke some English and she was talking to me, but I was like, I just got bad vibes. I was like, this seems weird to me. Like, for one, like a native Japanese asking a random foreigner, like, literally anything. Like, I was like, that was one, obviously not as bad as the Super Mega thing. Completely unrelated.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was one thing I kind of was like, oh, snap.
But so just be aware of, and like, the Yakuza usually don't, mess with foreigners that much. But like, just, like, they're not as present as most people think.
I feel like the more you talk about it, the worse it seems. It's like, oh yeah, man, the mafia in New York. Stay away from the mafia, man.
I mean, yeah, you should stay away from the mafia in general.
Well, I know, but like, the more you talk about it, the more prevalent it seems.
No, I'm literally talking about how unprevalent it is. Just like, just be smart. As with any country, don't be an idiot. Be aware of where you're going and who you're with. Don't follow random strangers.
It does help if you have more than one person.
Yeah.
And also, like, if you're like, okay, if you're like older than us, like listening to this, then I'm surprised. But two, like, if you're old enough, you can get away with a lot. I mean, you're a fucking adult. Like, it's not like legit. Like, yeah, it's fine.
Yeah. But what else? What was I freaking saying? I don't even remember where I was. Oh, I wanted to talk about my experience with kimono people. We were in Fushimi Inari, and these two girls in like the traditional kimonos came up to me, and they were like, "Sumimasen, photo," and I'm like, they wanted me to take their picture for them, and I was like, "Oh, hi," and I was like, "Ich ni san," and I took the picture, and they were like surprised that I spoke any sort of Japanese, and then they let me take a picture of like them because I thought their clothes were really cool. So that was I had a good experience with people in kimonos.
I never saw that, like.
Yeah, I think you were up ahead because it was
probably.
like it was in Fushimi Inari.
I did remember we did stop at one spot. Was it by the lake or no?
Yeah, it was by the lake.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah,
I was like right before there.
Oh, yeah, I was probably filming the fish.
Yeah.
I remember that.
Yeah, that's what you were
doing.
That
was such a good experience because I was filming it. I'm like, oh, yeah, getting that cinematic shot. And then I'm over, there's another kind of, I think he was a foreigner. And like, we both see this fish jump out of the water. He's like, you get it? I'm like, I got it. It's so good. Legit, I was like riding that high for the rest of the day.
Just
like,
the random guy. Did you get that?
Yeah, I was like, oh,
that's funny.
I know I said
that's funny.
Dude.
Oh my gosh. So on this topic of speaking Japanese, that is one thing you need to be aware about traveling in Japan. There is a common misconception that a lot of people in Japan speak English. That is not true.
Yeah, no. Especially, like, you think too, like where we were at is a pretty heavily tourist spot.
And there's still a lot of people who didn't speak English.
Oh yeah, a lot.
There's some who like
fine.
spoke like phrases, but a lot of times they have like hand gestures for stuff that they
Yeah.
use with foreigners.
Or they'll just know certain words like
Yeah.
closed or not for sale. you know?
Yeah, stuff like that. So that's a big misconception. So learn it'll be very beneficial for you to learn a few phrases and words.
Just
in
say
Japanese.
sumimasen just as
Just
much
say
as you can. It's
sumimasen a
like
lot.
literally just create
Sumimasen.
entire sentences with it. Like
Sumimasen, arigato, and kore.
kore is good.
Kore.
Or doko. Doko's not bad.
Doko's a good one. But kore, the important thing with kore, it means hello everybody. It is post-production Jonah here to let you know that at this point in the podcast, Mason's mic decided to die and cut out. So all the audio you're hearing from him is coming through my audio. Luckily, this was the first and only podcast that we recorded in the same room, and thank God we decided to record this podcast in the same room, and you're still able to hear his dialogue. I just want to let you know that's why his audio sounds kind of funky and he seems really quiet for the rest of the episode. I tried to fix it as best as I could in post, but obviously it was kind of difficult. So yeah, that's why the audio kind of sounds like that. On to the episode. For those of you who don't speak Japanese, kore means this. And that's super helpful if you're at like a restaurant and you can go like Big Mac. But I always felt like racist.
That is the worst.
Dude, it's
because in the past people were like, oh yeah, if you say it like in a Japanese accent, it is easier for them to understand.
and it's true.
Yeah.
It's true.
But you
It
feel
is.
like it
But you
feels
feel
like
like
a
such a
racist-
racist piece of shit when you're like, excuse me, like Big Mac kudasai. Yeah. I want to this and like and you feel like horrible, but they're like, oh, this is I'm like yeah, this and they're like, oh,
One of the biggest
here you
cringe
go,
moments-
and like it's so like awful.
I had such like a post cringe moment.
Oh, no.
Do you remember? It was on our way back. We're headed to Narita to fly, and there was that one train that you actually have to pay for that the J-Rail pass does not pay for.
Yeah.
And that lady who spoke English came up to us. I felt so bad responding in Japanese, but she was like telling us how to do it. Like, oh, hi. You know, I was like, basically treating her like a foreigner. Yet she spoke English. I feel so bad.
She was Japanese though, right?
Yeah, she was.
Yeah.
Even
I don't think
still,
you should feel bad.
But you could just say, you could just say yes. Like, she probably knows what yes means.
That's
If
true,
you speak
yeah.
that much English, she knows what yes is, and it's like, yeah, it was just such a cringy moment.
Yeah.
I thought she got this up.
Yeah, and there's like, and also just learn how to say like, I don't speak Japanese, like,
Yeah.
Nihongo ga hanasemasen.
That one is good, but obviously they'll assume that you are a foreigner.
They will, but one phrase that I used a lot was Nihongo ga hanasemasu demo Nihongo wa amari joujou ja arimasen, which is I speak Japanese but I don't speak it very well.
Yeah.
And so like there was one time where I was like say something in Japanese to someone and they start talking to me in Japanese and I get completely lost. I'd be like, gomenasai demo Nihongo ga amari joujou ja arimasen, and just like move on. But like kore.
Yeah,
Kore.
So
You'll get by. You'll get away with so much stuff with just kore. Because like I remember we go to McDonald's, and since I went back to the Big Mac thing, I feel like such a terrible person going like, Big Mac large fry.
So bad.
But so I would just point to the picture of what I wanted. I'd be like, kore to kudasai.
That's
Which is like
exactly-
this and this and this, please. Like, and that's what I did at Starbucks.
Yeah.
I remember when I went to Starbucks, I was like, strawberry frappuccino. And like, that's actually, because that's what it says in Japanese, because they have it with a katakana.
Yeah.
And it says, strawberry frappuccino. And I was like, and I was like, and I'd go out, but I'd be all nervous. I'd be like, strawberry frappuccino. And I feel like, they'd be like, oh, hi. And they'd be like,
I think the real play is to not do the Japanese accent, because like the one time you'll do it, you're like, oh yeah, I get it for you, in the most American way. It's like, oh no,
dude, that'd be such a flex.
dude, it'd be so bad. No, I remember at Starbucks I did that too, because I was like, oh, kuro kohi this, or onegaishimasu or something, or
Yeah.
kuro. I don't remember what it said, but it was
Kore
just like the
kohi.
easiest fucking shit, you know.
Yeah.
Just to know it, just to be able to order it and get it.
Yeah. And then like a lot of times when we were in manga stores and I was looking for specific manga, I would have a picture of it and they'd be like,
Yeah.
kore wa aremasu ka? Which is
Yeah.
like, do you have this? and they'd go back and come back and be like, Saudi, no have, and I'd be like,
I was so kind of bummed because one of the things I wanted to get when I was in Japan was the excuse me, ooh, got a nice burp. Anyway,
jeez,
that was like a 7.
That was a feel. That was a feel.
No, but what I was gonna say is that we can cut that out.
No, I'm leaving that in.
Okay.
Especially now that you said we can cut that out. I'm definitely leaving it in now.
No, like Fear Alone in Las Vegas. I want to get one of their albums. So I went and got a photo of it, but I think they were trying to find the
movie.
They used the album name as the artist. But I mean, they might also not have it because I feel like they weren't as big as I was hoping they would be.
No, they're not.
Which sucks. But anyway, it's actually you can get by pretty easily.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's one thing I want to say is that I know katakana and hiragana, and that is really nice to know.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like there wasn't a ton of circumstances where I desperately needed to read it. And obviously you have Google Translate.
Yeah, and the other thing is too, a lot of the signs, especially at the train stations, have it in English.
Yeah, definitely.
Or like at least in Romanji. If not in English, they'll have it in Romanji.
Like the Gundam Cafe, I think that was in English too.
Yeah, they had English menus. A lot of the cafes and stuff will have English menus too. Like, I'm sure if we went to one of the million-made cafes.
Yeah.
There are a few things.
I feel like some of those though, I feel like they wouldn't have English.
Maybe.
I feel like it'd be so not like tourists. Like I don't know, maybe it would.
No, when we go back to Japan, because I'm definitely going back at some point.
Yeah.
I definitely want to go to more cafes. I want to go to the Hedgehog Cafe. I want to go to the Cute Monster Cafe. I want to go to the Sega Cafe. Get a Sonic latte. Gotta drink fast! This iced coffee is way past cool.
And then just be like, what are you talking about? Our Sonic sounds completely different.
Their song is like, way past cool! Yeah, no.
I just want to do more countryside traveling.
More countryside traveling.
I legit now I've gotten so much into photography. I say that, but I don't have DSLR.
Mm-hmm.
I just use the newest fucking camera.
I mean, which is as good as DSLR
It's getting
almost.
to that point. But yeah, no, I do want to go back.
Yeah.
I mean, is there any more tips you can think of?
There's a few actually. I have a list here that I still haven't gotten through. So the next thing with Japanese is learn the culture. There are a bunch of videos on YouTube. One channel, if you're thinking about traveling Japan, definitely check out Abroad in Japan.
Yeah.
With Chris Broad. That is like, I've learned so much from those videos, and he has videos like what not to do in Japan.
If you're listening to this, you probably have already seen his videos.
Yeah, like if you're even like if you've watched a single video about Japan, you've gotten him in your recommended feed probably. Like, he gets recommended a lot because his videos are so well done.
Yeah,
and
I mean, weebs run the internet nowadays.
Yeah, weebs. Everyone is.
Not cringe anymore.
Yeah, everyone in like. The amount of people I know who watch anime has skyrocketed.
Yeah, it's the internet, man.
In the past couple of years. Yeah, it's like I can't think of a single person who hasn't seen at least one anime and enjoyed it. Like, I can't think of a single person I know who's never watched any anime.
I mean, obviously there are millions of people in the world, but I
there,
know what you mean.
as far as I know personally,
yeah.
even
Oh yeah, that's one of the weird things about my work is for the past 4 years, I worked with people who are either double or 10 years older than me, and it's now I work with 2 people who talk about anime all the time. They were talking about ships and freaking My Hero Academia. That weirded me the fuck out because I was like, this is not the place and time to be talking about Kiribako.
Hey, it is always the place and time to talk about Kiribaku. It is always the place and time to talk about. I was literally talking about Kiribaku to one of my friends last night. We got in a little fight because she thinks I can't believe I'm gonna be saying this on the podcast.
What?
But she thinks that Kirishima is the bottom. She thinks that Bakugo's top. And I'm like, no, Bakugo's a power bottom. Are you kidding me? And she was like, no, are you kidding me? Kirishima's definitely the bottom. I'm like, no, shut up. It was literally that's literally what we were talking about.
You agree about the base thing, but it's the technicalities of it.
Yeah, it's we agree on the concept, just not the execution. But back to learning about Japanese culture.
Yeah.
It's in.
What a segue. Also, what credibility we have.
Yeah, jeez. Look into Chris Broad. That's abroad in Japan. That's what I'm gonna point you guys to for that. Tours.
Yeah.
Booking tours. Personally, I don't like tours. I hate booking tours. I will never ever book a tour. But if you want to, there are a lot of good tour companies. You'll have to look into them because I haven't.
Yeah, just know that like Kyoto, definitely a 2-day thing. And if you
Yes.
Mount Fuji, that's either an entire day thing. Or
Mount Fuji's a day trip.
I was legit.
Or a weekend trip if you want to climb it. If you want to go to the top of Mount
if you're
Fuji,
gonna
that is a
climb it,
weekend
that's what
trip.
I'm referring to,
Yeah.
So it's definitely a bigger thing than it seems.
It's a lot taller than most people realize. It's like a 12, 15,000 foot tall mountain. Actually, let me look up how tall. How tall is Mount
Because those climbing
Fuji?
mountains around here, and it's like, okay, I mean, they're decent size. They're not.
It's
they're
12,000 feet tall.
12,000.
Yeah, Mount
So
Fuji is
basically
12,000.
Three of those that size. So.
Yeah, let me look up how tall is
So-
Sharp Top
But probably be,
Mountain.
like, that's not
Yeah.
bad. It's 39.
Sharp Top is 4,000.
3,900.
Yeah. So anyway, yeah, that's another important thing too is don't plan too much in a single day.
Yeah.
Things are gonna take longer than you think.
Yeah, they always do.
So always leave a free space. So to kind of close out, I want to let's give some like brief just do's and don'ts. For do's, go off the beaten track, find a side street, walk around, explore, travel to the countryside.
Yeah, that's one thing I wish.
Experiment with food. Japan has a lot of really weird food, but a lot of that really weird food is also really good.
Yeah.
So be adventurous with your food, especially their snacks. The snack food in Japan is top notch.
You're set.
Like go to Family Mart, find some snacks that look weird and buy them, and they'll probably be good.
And it's not even expensive.
It's not. It's so cheap.
It's a lot of things there are really cheap to do.
Yeah, go shopping, obviously. Even if you're not into anime or anything, there's so many cool shops in Japan
Yeah, I
that
think
are like that are.
It is worth it. Even
Yeah, if you're in to like
not going into every store, but like literally just the process of like going through Yodobashi or
Yeah.
like that is like really interesting.
yeah, there's plenty of non-anime related shops in Japan that you should definitely check out. Don Quixote especially.
Yeah.
Definitely don't go to Don Quixote.
Yeah, that's definitely like if you're like need souvenirs for your family, Don Quixote.
For sure.
100%, because it's like you can find so much bizarre stuff like food and just non-anime stuff. Like obviously your family.
Black Man underwear.
Yeah.
Which is a real brand. It's called Black Man Underwear.
It's good.
Have a free day to just where you don't plan anything and just like I said, go off the beaten track. I definitely have at least one day where you don't have anything planned and then just see what happens. Especially if you're a planner and you like to plan out everything. Definitely, especially then, have a free day. That way, in case something doesn't work out, like it rains or something like that, you have a free day that you can move it to. And you won't have to, like, delete something from your schedule, you know?
Yeah.
So definitely have a free day. Be aware of your surroundings. I mean, that's the same in any country that you go to, is just be aware of your surroundings. But especially, like, in Japan, just be aware that of, like, the people around you. Be respectful of their personal space and stuff like that. Watch out for the Yakuza. They're everywhere, hiding in every corner. They're gonna come for your family, and they're
Like, shoot your shins off.
for legal reasons, that's a joke. For legal reasons, that's a joke. We're serious Japanese mafia. Please don't kill me. That's a joke. And then be respectful is the other big do.
You literally just do the opposite of what or
Yeah, watch Logan Paul's Japan vlogs and do everything he doesn't do.
Yeah.
And nothing that he does. Or watch a PewDiePie Japan vlog and do everything that PewDiePie does.
Yeah.
And don't do anything he doesn't.
Or don't cross any bridges.
Don't cross any bridges.
Anyway,
Moving on over into don'ts.
like obviously, like okay, like to clarify, I feel like some people can like be really like, oh shit, I don't want to upset everybody there, like you know, it's some like Sorry.
They do give grace to foreigners.
Oh, yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
They do.
They know you're a foreigner. You're gonna fuck up. You're not gonna be.
Unless like you do something blatantly disrespectful.
Yeah.
That's like a no-brainer. Like if like at a shrine, like drink water at a shrine.
Well, that's what they said something, but it's not like they're gonna kick me out.
No, like just.
If I was like a I don't know.
If you start putting fish on cars and stuff.
Something like that.
Throw a Pokeball at a police officer.
Jeez. I blocked so much of that video. All I remembered was him at the Fushimi Inari, right? Was that what
No, yeah, he was at Fushimi Inari. Or no, it was something else.
Something similar.
It was similar. It was very similar, but
you're right, it was different.
yeah, don't throw coins in the well and wish for hella bitches at a temple. Don't wear a rice hat and a female kimono running through the marketplace. Don't throw Pokeballs on random people's bikes.
Yeah, just don't be a dick.
Don't be Logan Paul.
Like.
Don't be a dick is basically.
Well, like,
if you see a dead body, don't film it and post it on YouTube.
Unless
Call
it's
someone
like
instead.
The forest, and that's all you gotta do, and you wanna make sure that you were not the murderer, and you gotta tell the cops.
Yeah.
I can't do the
The only time you can film a dead body is if it's like the Pope's public viewing or something, and it's like good luck to film the Pope. I don't know.
It's not the only time.
It's not the only time.
There's
There's plenty of good times to film a dead body, but when someone has just committed suicide, is not the right time to film a dead body.
Yeah, I mean that's I don't know. It's honestly not that bad. There's very little you can do other if you start doing illegal shit,
Yeah.
But and then like we said, stay away from Shinjuku at night.
Like the red light districts. I mean, not stay away from, but like be aware that there's a lot of like tourist traps and stuff like that, and a lot of scams. So just make sure you're smart. Just be smart, and like, if something seems fishy and it seems like a scam, it probably is. And if it's not, oh well, don't risk it. Like the last thing you want to do is get scammed in a foreign country. It's the worst. So don't do that. But yeah, don't overplan, like I already said. Don't underpack. This goes for any foreign country, but do not pay with an American credit card. Because when you pay with an American credit card, then the store does the exchange rate. And they can a lot of times they'll upcharge you for like the convenience or whatever. It's way better to just go to an ATM. If you run out of cash, just go to an ATM. They're in literally every store, and you can use American credit cards at most ATMs. In the ATM, that way the bank is the one doing the exchange rates, and the bank usually, they'll charge you a convenience fee, but that's like any ATM will charge you. Yeah, they're not gonna rip you off.
Yeah, no, I used cash the whole time.
Yeah.
I had no problem.
Yeah. So just use cash, and that goes for any foreign country with a different.
Another thing too is I don't know if all airports are different, but definitely try and use as much coins as you have. Like I think you'll get you'll be surprised how many coins you'll have.
Yeah.
Because their coins they have a $1 coin and a $5 coin, which that obviously most countries don't have those.
Yeah.
So yeah, and what happened for us, and we already talked about this a little bit, but it's just you can't exchange those back into dollars, at least not at the airport we were at. So try and use those as much as you can, and go to the gachapons. Whatever.
Yeah.
Just wait those dry.
For sure.
And then also just don't pay for small things with big bills.
Yeah, that's another thing. It's another
It's
thing.
such an obvious no-brainer.
Try to use exact change as best as you can.
Yeah.
But it's so hard to get rid of the 1 yen coins though.
They are.
Because the gachapon machines don't take them.
Yeah. They don't.
Usually they're like pennies. Like you'll just have a million of them. You're like, oh well, what am I gonna do?
So put these in the microwave.
Yeah, your 5 yen coins are easy to get rid of.
Yeah, 5 yens you can.
All you do is toss them in the air and say
Fine.
you need help with something, and Yato will come and
Of course.
take it and help you with your shit or whatever.
Yeah, but then.
With his hot sword.
Oh, took a second. I was like, I guess.
That wasn't. Let me be clear. That actually wasn't an innuendo. It was a statement about how Yato's sword is also a person who also happens to be mad cute.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Big tangent.
Yeah. Just don't be disrespectful. Don't be a dick. Have money. Have fun. That's really all I have to say on this. Is there anything else you want to add before we sign off?
I'm sure I'll think of something later and it'll piss me off. But no, I think that's it.
Alright. Cool. Well, thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you subscribe to this channel and put on notifications. You can also subscribe to our highlights channel where we'll be posting some clips. You can subscribe to Mason's channel on YouTube, JDM Blackout. Link will be in the description. You can subscribe to me, youtube.com/JonahTV. Follow us on Twitch, JDM Blackout, JTV Live. Twitter. My Twitter.
And the channel's Twitter.
And the channel's Twitter. It's at NoGenPod on Twitter. And at JDM Blackout for Mason. JDM_Blackout for Mason. And then at Jonah TV Official for me.
I always forget to link my Twitter.
It's fine. And we will see you guys on the next episode. Thank you guys so much for watching.
Adios. Very fitting way to end a podcast.
About Japan,
Yeah,
just
and
being
it's
like,
Spanish.
or what's I can't think of goodbye in any other language.